What's going on, guys? It is Wednesday. We are back on a Wednesday at we're way off at 7:30 ish. We're now like 7:42, but whatever. We are back. It's been a couple weeks. How long has it been? It's been like two
Two
weeks.
full weeks, man. 2 week break.
Híjole, 2 weeks of not of any of us at all. That's got to hurt for you guys. I'm sure you guys are hurting, right? I am. I've hurt. I was pretty.
They
But
probably thought we weren't going live tonight after it was 7:45. So
maybe.
week 3 break.
Well, and then last week I had put up, we're going live on this day, and then we didn't. And then the next day I put up, this time we're going live, and we didn't even go up. I'm like, God damn it, man! I don't even know if I'm going to say that we're going live because
You're a liar, fool.
I know, but we are live, guys. We are back. It is the Geek Saga with obviously I'm your host Eugene, along with my other host right over there, David. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. I've just been chilling, just recovering slowly, trying to get this thing done. Y'all been leaving us hanging. I'm sorry, James. We both have kids in activities, and we had to do a lot.
Dude, I had a choir thing and driving home thing, and you had track meet stuff too.
Today I had a track meet. My kid had a play that he was in. Randomly was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this play this year," and we were like, "What the heck? Okay, cool." And the first night was that Wednesday that we missed, and then the following night was your choir thing, and
Yep.
then you had driving, and then it just kept getting pushed, and but today's track meet finished right at 7, so I ran home, threw my stuff back together, and here we are.
Yeah, and then over at my second location, which is under literally, and I'm going to say it's literally under construction right now. So we are building a literal studio with a full-on backdrop, props, the whole 9 yards is getting built right now as we speak. Well, not right now as we speak because I'm not there, but that's what's been going on for the last few weeks. Also, I mean, oh,
Your light should take that one.
all of a sudden this thing wanted to turn back on. Well, all right. Let's see if this it really screwed up.
James, we've had the sign forever. We've just never used it.
Yeah, it's been sitting in a box, rolled up, and every event we've gone to, we never really needed a backdrop, or we couldn't use a backdrop.
We
have
since.
So
I almost stole it to bring it here, but I forgot.
and I probably wouldn't have even noticed it.
I kept forgetting. I was like, you know what, dude? I forgot to borrow that sign again.
Well, you're gonna have one soon because I'm gonna order one, but yeah, I mean, a lot's been going on for us. My daughter did her first actual invitational last Saturday, and dude, I do not like track, and I'm not even running it.
Yeah. He because of the play, he missed invitational time because he likes to pole vault and he hasn't had time to pole vault, so they put restrictions on him. They're like, you can't even pole vault until you're hitting 8 feet.
Jeez.
So until you hit 8 feet, you can't even do it. And he was like, what the hell? So he's missing pole vaulting this Saturday because he hasn't had time to practice.
That sucks. Yeah, my kid's running the 1600.
Oh,
It's only a
why?
mile.
Yeah, why?
I don't know, but I'm actually pretty proud of her. So in their preseason stuff, she had done. She was doing 1600. She was getting like a 7, and a little over 7. And then she went to this invitational. She got put in like heat number 11 because there was like 14 heats. And she ran fast enough now that she could move way down in the next heat that she's doing because she actually came in first. She started at the middle of the pack and ran like the freaking ice was after her, and she was like, booyah, across that finish line.
Bro, the ice is not going to be after her. The only person that I'm worried about getting deported is you. If they read your full name in Spanish, you're gone.
Hey, I'm learning Spanish too. I'm doing Duolingo.
Bro, if they read your full name in Spanish, you're gone. Then they're gonna hear you talk and be like, "Oh, Valley kid, he ain't going nowhere."
It's gonna be like I think it was our old friend Lupe. Lupe sent me this one video that I don't know where he got it from, but it was that one dude that does the cholo workouts,
Oh yeah.
and he's like he's all dressed up, freaking hat and everything, trying to go towards Mexico, and the border patrol stops him. And the guy's all like, we're gonna arrest you." And he's all like, "Why? I'm trying to get into Mexico." And he's all like, "What do you mean you're trying to get into Mexico?" So yeah, I'm trying to go back over there because over here it just sucks. And he gives like a list of things why he's gonna go to Mexico. And then he's all the last one was, and then they changed the Taco Bell menu. And the dude's all like, "You Mexicans like Taco Bell?" He's all like, "Yeah, we like that. Shoot." I was like, "Damn."
That's you.
And he's all like, "Nah, bro, you can't go back. You got to stay here."
Yeah, you're American, bro.
American.
Hey James, if you need one of them signs, man.
Don't promise anything right now
Let us
because
know.
no, don't promise anything because I'm in the middle of that build and I got to finish that. I can't take on anything else right now.
He just needs you to send him the link so he could order his.
You know, the funny thing, this is the company that made this is the same company that's made that long banner that we have.
Hmm.
And it was the same company that our good friend over at Project Wish Upon a Star, Darren, told me about the first LA Comic Con.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's all like, "This place is cheap. You got to try them out."
$10.
Yeah. So I was like, "All right, let me check them out." I think it was like $15. It's like $15 for a 6 foot by 6x3.
Bro, I'm tripping out because my green screen's getting rid of my cup.
That's pretty cool, though. It looks like it's a glass.
It's got the what is it? The fucking Harry Potter thing on it.
But oh my god, now I'm gonna draw a blank on that. The cloak.
Yeah. Oh, you can read Starbucks on it.
Barely.
Shut up.
Barely.
Put your glasses on.
James wants a link. All right, that I can do. I could send you a link. I think the shipping is a little bit pricey, but the rest of it's actually pretty good price. So anyways, guys, we're starting off a little slow because it's like we got to get back into it. We got to get back into the rhythm of this thing. Oh my God, look at Dennis. Well, we haven't seen him in a while.
The quality is suspicious.
What quality? The quality of this banner is actually really good.
You can't trust him, bro. He looks at brown eyes all day. Animal brown eyes.
Animal brown eyes. I've been seeing a lot of videos of those ones where like the dogs are barking and their buttholes barking too. And it made me think of Dennis. I was like, I wonder if you see a lot of that. Oh, Ricky's in the chat. Mel's in the chat. Yeah. Guys, it is good to be back on. It is good to
That fool said, "When you think of dog ass, think of me."
What?
He said, "When you think of dog ass, think of me."
Well, you know.
Be offended.
Sorry. I am truly sorry. He still exists? Yeah, he does exist. He truly does exist still. He's been a very busy man, and it's been hard to get him on the show, along with our other co-host, which was Desiree, which understandable. It's because she is a school teacher, so you know the school's in right now, and you know it's hard for her to come on. So, Ricky, bark. But it is good to be back, guys. Like any break for us is always so it's weird. And then you gotta get back on it, and it's like, okay, we gotta get our legs back on it because the last one we did was the Berkowitz Bros.
Yeah.
It was Ben and Max. Which Ben, Max, if you guys are out there and you guys happen to watch this, Your shirts will be in the mail next week. I had to reorder some shirts for your size because all I had was either huge or tiny, and you guys are neither one of those. And I'm not saying that you guys are not. I'm just saying
Extra
that,
medium.
yeah, we're gonna get extra medium for you guys, so you guys can look like you're all swole. I also got some new hats. So Ben, Max, you guys are gonna get hats, and I know Ben's a hat wearer, so gonna get that over to you guys for sure. Um, yeah, it was a good interview with them, and hey, I don't want to announce that because then everybody. Well, if you're on Instagram, yeah, you guys see what was just posted up, but yeah,
I've been getting the messages all day.
really,
Yeah. I was
you're
like,
just
dang,
ignoring it. You're like, I
50
don't
years
care.
old today? That's crazy, dude.
Wait, what?
50 years
I
old,
am
bro?
not 50 years old. The hell with that. Shoot,
Your
I'm
spectacles,
young.
the VA sent spectacles to your house. They said I got the receipt in the mail.
Hey, you know what? You know what the sad thing is? So I went over to go get myself a birthday pizza because somebody had to go do that. Um, and I had to ask Manny, who's older than me, to look at the what do you call it, the price. I was like, what does that say? I don't have my glasses with me. And he just starts laughing. I was like, I can't help it. I'm sorry. Uh, but yes, sad thing is that I'm older. Yep. De- yeah, but Dennis, you're not much older. He's only a few months older than me. The dude swears.
I don't know, man. I think it's the chops. They age him up.
No, you know what? No, actually, it doesn't age him up. It actually frames out his face pretty good.
Hey, keep it in your pants, bro. You guys have a private chat for that, okay?
I'll send you, Dennis. I'll send you a chat. Dude, they're so gray now. Oh my god! Hey, don't announce that. Now that's on the internet forever. And thank you. Yes. See, somebody appreciates me.
James said, "Happy birthday."
Thank
You only
you.
turned 50 once.
Jeez. Not 50. Mel said, "How dare you?" He's 29. Yes, I am. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
Love you.
29 twice.
Yeah, right.
Almost.
See, Ricky, thank you. Good news, you're from a good generation. Thank you. Yes. Ricky,
Degeneration.
huh?
Degeneration X.
Hey, but it's a good generation. It was the best generation. Everybody can attest to that. So,
Dennis said 29 in the body of a 79-year-old.
hell no, man. Shoot, I'm about to flex like Guzman. Is that why? Is that why David is reading all the comments? Eugene can't see the screen. I could see the screen.
He just sees silhouettes. He's like, I think that's David. There's a hat.
I just prefer not to look down at times because it throws me off when I'm trying to get into a role and I have David read it. So World War II. No, I'm not the World War II era. Damn it, freaking Ricky.
Then World War II ear.
World War II ear. He misspelled it, but that's okay. Man, see, I didn't want to announce that. I didn't need to. Oh my god. All right. So, anywho, off of the subject of my birthday, but I did get actually a pretty awesome Lego for my birthday. I can see David's cups better than Eugene can see. James, but you have a lot more gray going on than I do.
Bro, quit hating on him, dude.
I'm just gonna throw it out there.
I bet you he could sing every Journey song.
Homeboy from Journey is their national hero. That hairline is retreating. What do you mean it's retreating? It hasn't moved. It's still the same spot. Dude,
I don't know why everybody's hating on your Eddie Munster in the front, bro. Leave it be.
It's always been there. There's nothing new about that. I do have freaking PC hair, but you
He
know,
said, "I'm one to talk." Got the hairline of a Padre.
no many padres.
Dang.
oh my god! It's just
Not the 8 tracks.
wow.
His first concert was on a Betamax.
Anyways, we're moving on. We're gonna go into what we normally go
This week in geek history, Eugene was born.
That's gonna be in there, but starting with, we want to shout out to all to our freaking what do you call it? Affiliates. There we go. Let me get back on track. Affiliates. So
You need your Geritol so you get in the mix.
Ulanzi. No, it's not Geritol. Freaking Ben Gay. Ulanzi. Ulanzi is a great company. We use them all the time. We really do use them. Yes. I'm going to say right now, the lights that are behind me are not Ulanzi. So if you guys saw them all of a sudden turn on by themselves, it's because these are not Ulanzi. They're cheap lights. I was just testing some stuff out to give it an ambiance, and I built some light boxes. They obviously got to be a little bit brighter, but if they were Ulanzi, can this go brighter? Nope, that's it. If they were Ulanzi, they wouldn't have any issues. So you guys want lights, you guys want tripods, you guys want stands, different things that are out there for video making and vlogging and all that other stuff. Check out Ulanzi. You can click on the link that's in our bio on Instagram, and it'll take you straight to them. When you purchase from them, it helps us out. Now, I'm not going to say it's a discount code because somebody asked us about that. It is not a discount code. We're affiliates, so you get to purchase from them, and obviously it's going to help us out. But again, if you're looking for great equipment as far as lights and stuff like that, this is the place to go. Definitely check them out. Next, we've got Renegade Game Studios, which is another great company that we love. They have some great games. If you know how to play 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, then you'll be able to play any of their RPGs and also their deck builder games that are out there. They've got some great IPs like Transformers, My Little Pony, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, the list goes on of all the different companies, but check them out. Again, it's another affiliate of ours, so if you click on the link and go purchase from them, it'll help us out. So definitely do that. Next, we've got somebody that is we like to call him more of I would say more of a sponsor. This one's actually probably more of a sponsor. This is Randy. Love you, man. Been checking out some of you, not checking you out. Let me just put it out there.
Why not? Why not?
It's a little bit on the, and I'm not, but he's working out, and that dude's getting some gains. Like, this dude is getting swole. And that's on his new gains in RB something, RPGs or something. I don't remember. But Legendary Supplements is his company. They've been around, and they're going to be hitting their 1 year mark. They've been around for 1 year. We've been with them for 7 months out of that 1 year. So we've been around for a while with them, and they've got some great products. You can see right there is 2 of their Kraken drinks, which is a focus drink. I brought some to work, and I forgot to take one. So instead I took Ghost.
How dare you?
I know, I needed the energy. I didn't want to just focus. But it's a great company. We both have actually tried not just tried it, but use these drinks to help us focus. When it comes to doing work on the computer, I will drink one of those because it does help me kind of zone things out and kind of get focused on what I'm doing. David, you've used it when you play video games, right?
I have. I haven't had any in a while, so I haven't tried it since I've been hunting monsters in Monster Hunter Wild. But I've used it in Overwatch. I've played Marvel Rivals with it, and yeah, dude, it gets you all focused. I zone in. I get tunnel vision, and I'm just stuck on that whatever screen I'm watching at the time. I will say I did see a small improvement in my actual gameplay. My KD, if you're a Call of Duty player, was actually like in the ones. I had a one. It was all good. So yeah, it works good. Works at the range. Haven't tried it anywhere else yet. Works amazing on this show because I freaking zone in. And I still haven't tried the new flavors, but I would love to get my hands on them because I just haven't ordered any.
I definitely got to get my hands on those too. The two new flavors is pumpkin sour grape and watermelon. So two great new flavors from them. They've got a lot of other stuff that's going to be coming out. He's working on some good stuff. But yeah, he hasn't come out with it yet. And you can actually get like sweatshirts from them now and stuff. So they've got a lot of cool stuff. So check them out. If you actually go to their website, use Geek Saga 77, and that place you definitely will get a 10% discount off of your purchase. And when you purchase from them, it's going to help us out. So check them out. Use the code. Buy as many of these things as possible because we want to help them out. We want to see them grow. So check them out. Next, we've got Movo. Movo is another great company that we use actually a lot of their stuff. The microphone that I'm on right now is a little bit of their lower end mics, but it still works really well. And if you watch our show, it's the mic that I use. It is their web mic. I also use their web camera at home, which has a mic built in. And a lot of the microphones that we have taken to different cons, those all are Movo. So we stand by Movo on their products. So check them out. Again, affiliate of ours. So if you go into their link, purchase from them, it definitely helps us out. So check that out. Finally, we want to throw a shout out because they're not affiliates, but we do know the people that run this thing, that own this game. That's Watchers TCG, Alex and all them over there. Great people. Awesome game. They're actually going to be at WonderCon doing a panel about the game. So if you guys are interested and you're going to WonderCon, definitely go over there to that panel. Check it out. At the end of it, go up to Alex, tell him that I sent you, or we sent you, I'm sorry, we sent you, and he'll shake your hand and say thank you. I mean, that's actually kind of cool. You know, I'm just saying. So, check them out. Watchers TCG. Great game. I do have, and I always do this because they gave us some of the product to check out. I do have other ones that are already open and a mat. So, check it out. Check it out, man. And that is it for our
people who like us.
Pretty much, because we did have one person drop us. A coffee company.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're. I like coffee.
I signed an NDA.
But I do like coffee, and I'm working on trying to get us an actual another coffee sponsor. I'm working on it. So, with that, we are going to move into our first segment, which is the segment that we all love and we all have fun with. But this time, it's a little bit different. We're flipping it tonight. We're going to flip tonight because we want to dive a little bit deeper into another segment after this. So we're going to actually do our
Hey, calm those fingers down over there.
Okay, I'm still getting used to scenes right here on StreamYard. So that's why that was a little glitchy. But yes, we are doing the Geek News. So this week on the Geek News, this one particular story came I noticed because this is Rob Liefeld. So Deadpool co-creator Rob Liefeld says comic shops are too unreliable to debut his new Youngblood relaunch, and with them first, so he's selling selling to fans direct. Um, do you remember this comic?
Yeah, I remember it. I
Yeah.
wasn't a huge fan of it at the time. I did have a better like appreciation for it later on.
Mhm.
I felt like it was just another team up that I didn't need. And then I felt like the one dude looked like Chapel. The guy in white was just a knockoff Deadpool. And then you had Hawkeye in red. Like I don't know. It wasn't one of the things I wanted to go out and read at the time.
So the funny thing is, obviously, we know that Liefeld was drawing for Marvel back then, and he created Deadpool. And yes, a lot of his characters do look the same. This was when Image first kicked off.
Mm-hmm.
So he took Youngblood, he took God, a bunch of comics, and he created them there along with the rest of the guys like Todd McFarlane. Who else was over there?
Todd McFarlane, Mark Silvestri, Jim Lee.
That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, dude.
There was a lot of people that were over there, but Dennis says, "Poor man's X-Men or Avengers." Yeah, no, and honestly, when you actually get into the comic book, it's actually a really good comic, and it was actually a lot bloodier, and there's a lot more to it compared to what was going on over at Marvel, because Marvel was more tamed, whereas Image didn't have that constraint. They went for it. So if they were going to tear somebody apart, they tore them apart, and you saw it. And there was a lot of that going on in those comics, but they were great comics. I really enjoyed reading them. So hold on, let me bring this back.
Yeah, I really thought. I mean, I thought it was just like Liefeld's version of Wildcats.
But the thing is that Wildcats was still an Image comic too, and that
Yes.
was
That was Jim Lee's
yeah,
team up that he did.
yep, it was Jim Lee's, which they did a lot of crossovers between Youngblood and Wildcats, and then like all the other ones, like Deathblow was another one that I really loved. Wetworks was another great comic that Image put out. I mean, Image was pumping out some really great comics.
Yeah,
I thought.
Wetworks was Will Sportacio.
And like Bad Rock, who's in the background right there, ended up having his own comic book too, and it was a great comic. Dude, they even made toys of the characters.
Oh, and Dennis just said Savage Dragon, who was Eric Larson.
Yeah.
So
Image was pumping out a lot of great stuff. Liefeld was freaking on top of the world back then, and then obviously kind of petered out because of the comic book industry the way it went. But then obviously skyrocketed again as soon as Deadpool started making a comeback, and then the movie, and then it was just like the sky's the limit for Liefeld. But it's almost like a slap in the face to comic book stores, and I would even say to comic book fans to say that putting comic books in a comic shop is very unreliable.
I don't know. I mean, I get where he's coming from. He wants to sell them directly to the fans himself, but you lose that nostalgic going into the comic shop, perusing all the things, and then buying it. But if the art's good and the book's good, they're gonna sell themselves. You know what I mean? Like that's never been the problem. It's poor comics that get poor circulation.
Yeah, and right now it seems like there is a resurgence in comic books. Period. I mean, you've got a lot of great new issues from Image itself, like the whole Ghost Machine line, which is Redcoat, Exodus, Rook, Geiger, Average Joe, their newest one, the Rocket Fellas. And these are all great books that are under the Image comic line, and those are selling out. Though, like Rocket Fellas is on its third printing for the number one, because the first issue came out and sold out instantly. Like, it was off the shelves. They couldn't even keep it on the shelf long enough. So I don't know. So he wants to sell these directly to the fans via Whatnot live stream instead of going to the comic book shops. I'm sure sooner or later they are going to hit the comic book stores, but you and me were talking earlier about that, how he's a little disconnected, I think, or we think, from the comic book industry,
Yeah,
period.
I, I feel like his popularity has never gone away. He's always been on a high of popularity, and Deadpool definitely kept that going over the last couple of years. Well, not over the last couple of years, since creation, Deadpool has kind of carried him. It saved him from the not being able to draw feet thing. It saved him from the huge chest Captain America drawing that he did. Like he's had a lot of drawings where people are like tearing him apart, but he's one of the bigger comic book artists of our time, um, because he is very creative. His ideas, he's like the young version of Stan Lee, because he just comes out with these great things and they
Mhm.
work. It's just they don't get the same like push that the X-Men were getting, or that Spawn got, or like Jim Lee. Jim Lee's always been an excellent comic book artist, where people are buying pages after page of everything he puts out.
I so I think also, I mean, in recent times, um, Liefeld's gone on and said some kind of outrageous stuff that has actually, you know, kind of sparked that animosity towards him from the fans, and that's what's kind of dropped his sales also when he puts something out, which that's a problem. You know, you're putting him up there with like some of the greats, which is fine. You know, he's up there with Jim Lee. He's up there with Todd McFarlane. He's up there with, Silvestri. Like all these other ones that we've grown up with in our generation. He's up there with them because, like you said, he does create these characters that are great. The stories are awesome. So, it's great stuff. But for him to say that it's poor orders in his variant cover of Batman The Long Halloween, the last Halloween #5, was like his last straw. And he's like, they're not doing it for me. Comic book stores are just not buying as many as comic books as they used to. It's just the fact, you know? It's due to the economy. What are you going to do? You know, at one of my favorite stores, We Can Be Heroes, I went in there asking for Rocket Fellas, and they're like, well, at first we didn't really buy very many because we didn't think anybody's going to really buy this comic book. And so they only had bought a few issues of it, and it sold out there. So I had to put it onto my freaking pull list in order for them to have it for me for the next time around. But
Well, I don't know, man. I just looked up that the Long Halloween #5 where he did
it's
the
not a good
cover.
comic, not a good one.
I don't know, man. Like the Joker has a freaking 1932 Buick grill for a fucking smile. And I've always felt the same thing. Like as much as I like Liefeld and the stuff he's come out with, the his heads always feel like they're disconnected from the bodies, especially in the pose he put Batman in. Um, but yeah, like I don't know. There's always something weird about some of the stuff he puts out.
Um, Hold on, I'm looking. I want to look it up too. You said
Um,
it's
I'm,
#5,
I'm,
right?
I'm gonna drop it in this chat here.
Yeah, that's not. I don't. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that variant cover. I mean, yeah, the Joker looks. He's trying to make him look very menacing. Um, Batman. I mean, the look on his face is cool.
It's not horrible.
It's
It's
not.
not bad in comparison to some of the crazy stuff he's put out. It's not
Yeah.
horrible, but like I said, just those teeth are freaking long, dude. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's been drawing the Violator for.
You know what? That's what he does remind me of. He reminds me of the Violator.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Rob. But
I think we're looking at a man who's been hot since he was 19 years old in the comic book industry. He never had a lull in his career. His disconnection to what we are looking for and the economy isn't there. You know what I mean? Like I follow him on Instagram and he gets free shit from companies all the time. So it's not like he's spending his own money like we are to get a hold of some of these things.
yeah,
And people like, I mean, me and you we're not even avid collectors anymore. We're like run of the mill. Oh, I got a couple bucks. I'm gonna pick something up, kind of guys. Well,
yeah.
I mean, like you don't have $200 statues that you're buying every couple
Oh,
weeks.
hell no.
You know what I mean? Those are the collectors I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are like, oh, I just got paid. A third of it's going to this statue. A third of it's going to my bills, and then the other third I'm gonna try to live off of for the next 6 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
He's not one of those guys who's spending. He spends a third of his check, and it's like, all right, I still have a couple thousand to live off of for the rest of the week.
Yeah. I mean, he's going all over the place. He's doing a lot of great stuff, but yeah. So the gold foil variant, dude, so get this. He wants to sell direct to the
to us.
So Youngblood #1 special edition. Currently, 4 signed editions are available via Whatnot. The gold foil variant, $160. Virgin variant, $60. Sketch variant, $60. Trade dress variant, $60. I'm sorry, but with the prices of comic books already going up as it is,
Bro, I'm already spending $10 a comic when I buy comics.
Dude, I'm spending.
What is it? $7 an issue now?
Huh?
What is it? $7 an issue?
No, not yet. No, they're still at about $4 an issue.
$4 to $5 an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I wait till they're in omnibuses, and if I can't catch the first printing, because I won't buy it if it's not a first printing.
And most of the ones that I get are first. Actually, all the ones now I'm getting are all first prints. I don't have any seconds, but I also don't go for the variant covers. I go for just a cover and that's it. I don't need to collect all 3 of the covers. I don't care. And even getting them signed, I'm not a huge like, oh my God, can you sign my comp? I've never been that. I mean, if they want to sign it, awesome, sweet. Like the Adam Rose huge giant back there, I have that's signed. But other than that, it's like I don't have very many comics that are signed. And I'm even grateful that I got that one. But oh, you know what? I actually do have. Oh, where is that? I have that one that when I went to film the signing of the Alien What If. That's another one I got signed, and that was Brian was there and all the creators of the comic book. So, I even had freaking Paul Reiser sign it. So that is huge to me because it's nostalgic, especially because it's Paul Reiser. But
yeah,
Liefeld, and I don't want to say too much bad stuff about him because there's a possibly an opportunity to go meet him because Golden Apple is doing a signing with him there. So I don't want to say too much bad stuff.
But it's not bad. It's just you could tell there's a disconnect, and to think that people are going to drop $60 on a 12-page paperback book, I don't know, man. Like, and it hasn't been read yet. No one knows what it's like. How is the artwork on the inside? Is he doing the artwork or is he just doing the covers? Like, it gets to the point of, is it even worth the $60 to start with?
Well, this shot of Youngblood, I don't know if that was a direct one from the new issue, but if it is, I don't like it because it does look even more like their necks are even longer and stuff. It's just yeah, I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, he's saying that he's not gonna stop putting his stuff in the comic book stores. He's just not gonna do it first and foremost with this comic right off the bat. It'll come in later on after he tries his direct sales, and I think he's gonna find out that he's not gonna sell as many as if he actually threw them out into the comic book stores.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. Again, I'll probably get this when it comes out in the stores. I'm not going to go on to what not to spend $60 for this. I'll wait till it's $4. I'm sorry, that's the truth. But moving on to the next one, which is Blizzard Con, is back in September 2026, following Activision Blizzard's integrations into new owner Microsoft. So
that's a big thing, man, because it went away for what, a year, 2 years?
Yep, the year with no Blizzard or no Blizzard Con 2025 was when it was not around, or no Blizzard Con 2024 and this year 2025. So we haven't had a Blizzard Con in a little while, and this was something that we talk about this stuff all the time with when it comes to these cons and how the cons that we go to, we no longer see like all the different companies that we used to see back in the day with our cons, which Blizzard was one, Nintendo was always there, Warner, like all the big names were always there, and now they're not.
DC's not there, Marvel's not there,
Nope,
Disney's not there.
Definitely not.
They're doing their own cons now. I mean, especially on the movie side. But BlizzCon's always been a thing because they have their own universe of stuff, and they're probably the originators of breaking away and doing their own thing.
Yeah, and then Dennis says, rest in peace, E3. Yeah, E3 was definitely one, and that's because of BlizzCon, Blizzard breaking away from E3, it took a lot of their business. And then all of a sudden, at that time, Microsoft went off and did their own thing. Like all the different companies went off to do their own thing, but Blizzard was kind of the first, and that kind of put the nail in the coffin for E3.
Yep.
So, but yeah, they're announcing. Who knows? We might be able to get tickets into this one.
Maybe. I mean, shit. The last time they had BlizzCon, everything was going down. That they did the rename of McCree and in Overwatch, changed his name to Cassidy because he was named after the guy who was under allegations at the company. So hopefully it's a change of pace for them. It turns a new page for them because they kind of left on a sour note.
Yeah, well, I mean, now that Microsoft they've obtained them as one of their companies, we probably going to see a lot of change because obviously Microsoft wants to erase what's happened in the past and rebuild it into under their name. Because I mean, shoot, why would you want to have that old stigma tacked onto you? So, yeah. But right now, what they're expecting, there's no official lineups as of now to be announced, but Blizzard's blog confirms fan favorite features, including the opening ceremony and developer panels, big game reviews and updates. Dark Moon Fairy, a themed in-game and real-world festival, esports and friendly competitions will be going on. Likely to include Overwatch 2, World of Warcraft Arena, Hearthstone, and Diablo. So obviously you're going to be able to get your hands-on gameplay, as always, that goes on at this place. So yeah, I mean, this is I guess you could say it's a much anticipated event now that it's been announced. And it's actually since 2023 there hasn't been a BlizzCon.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my brother-in-law and my wife's cousin at the time, they both went. Him and his cousin went, and I think they went to the very last one.
In 2023?
Yeah.
because I mean, obviously we all know that there was none in 2020, like everything else.
Yeah,
But they did do it. Did they do an online con? Which none of those did very well. Period.
they started. I think they started the whole online only ticket where you pay like $20-$30 and you could just watch the thing from your laptop.
Oh, really? Huh. Well, that's cool. Well, yeah. So with that, I guess mark your calendars, guys. BlizzCon is coming in 2026, and we'll see what they have to offer. We'll probably keep our eye on this one, and also see if we can get ourselves in there, sneak
Oh, yeah,
ourselves in somehow.
that'd be fun.
That would be. I mean, it'd be really cool. And I mean, we haven't gone to a con this year yet because of all that's been going on the last few months.
And a gaming con would be really cool because we haven't done any of that yet.
This is true. So it would be nice to go to a gaming con. But all right, moving on to the next thing, which is some more gaming news. PlayStation owners could be sitting on a classic horror game that's worth over $7,000.
So I didn't even read this. I wanted to be surprised by the review.
Okay.
I like literally didn't even glance past the freaking tagline you sent me.
Okay. Do you want to take a guess which game it is?
PlayStation. It's a PlayStation exclusive.
It just says PlayStation. It's just a PlayStation game. It's a classic horror.
I couldn't even tell you, man, because there's so many games that I consider classics and that I think are like staples in the horror genre game.
So this one is actually a real staple. I mean, this one is like, and it's still going. It's still around.
Is it the OG Resident Evil?
Yep.
First game?
The original Resident Evil is going for, and this is a sealed, graded copy. It's upwards of $7,716.
Damn.
Yeah. And an unopened but not graded is still upwards of $2,600.
Damn.
Complete box and manual but open is just under $100.
Yep.
Freaking ridiculous. But
Bro, that first game was that's the one where you're isolated to the mansion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good game. Those dogs scared the shit out of me the first time I played that game.
It was a really good game, and it was a lot of fun to play. But who's gonna have an unsealed copy of this thing?
Did you be surprised how many people bought it and just left it there, or bought 2 copies and played one, or bought one, loved it so much that they went back and bought a second copy?
But why?
It's like us with comic books or us with toys, or like, oh man, I'm that guy. I'll buy a comic book just to read through it, and if I really liked it, I'll go buy a second one that I don't read through. You know what I mean? Like the value.
I guess because for me, like especially with comic books now, I don't do that. I buy one issue, I read it, and then I put it back. I do put it back in the bag, and yeah, I'm obviously more aware of how I'm holding the comic, and so I don't get too many creases. But I don't know. I don't think of it as, oh my God, this is gonna be worth money anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, like I said, back in the day when I was collecting, I was all about, oh man, I can't. But I don't think I've done that type of collecting in
a long time,
20 years. Now I read everything I buy.
So it says that so apparently like older than 15 years tend to skyrocket in price, making retro collecting a pricey hobby. So these games are no longer just, you go to used game shop and pick them up. They're going to be priced upwards of close to what new games are, and that's a little bit ridiculous. I'm just saying.
Dude,
but I get it, collectors.
my wife's cousin, well, I call him my cousin, but my cousin Jesse has been doing the retro gaming for I don't know, ever since he was in high school, and he's only a few years younger than me and my wife. And dude, he was like, I can't really make a lot of money no more because of the price of some of these games. And I mean, he still does it. He still flips games all the time.
Uh-huh.
He's flipping consoles. Like he finds Wii's and DS's and all that stuff and flips them. But he was like, it used to be lucrative. Now he's like, it's not that crazy no more. He just still does it. But yeah, he's like, dude, some of these games are ridiculous.
Yeah, they're so. What else was there? GTA 6 is rumored to set a new high price point. So not only are the retro games getting more expensive, but the new games are coming out and are getting stupid expensive too.
It's already $70 to buy a game right now.
It makes me not even want to play video games anymore. Because, damn, dude, it's like, okay, I spent $70, and if I beat this game in 2 weeks, now what? Now what do? I have to go spend another $70 so I can play another game for 2 weeks?
That's why I play Monster Hunter or Marvel Rivals. Games you can't beat, you just keep grinding. Just keep grinding. If I can't get, I'm at the point now, if I can't get 150 plus hours into a game because of how short it is, there's no point in paying $70 for that game.
Yeah.
I'll download a repack and play it illegally if I'm going to pay $70 for a game that's 8 hours long.
It's not worth it. It's just not worth it at all. But so they're saying, this article was saying, collectors care about condition, that shrink wrap matters, a sealed copy holds more than 25 times the value of an unsealed but complete version. It's just, and I can't I can't talk because I am a collector too. You're a collector, but some of this stuff is just, I guess it's because I'm getting older that I'm kind of like, I don't really care anymore. I just want to
can't take it with us.
Yeah. So
I mean, you're over the hill at 50. You don't care about this stuff.
Not 50. Damn it. But yeah, Resident Evil is right now the leading game in price for a used copy. And I mean, I guess you guys go through your games and see what hidden gems you might have in your collection. You know, mom might have put all your games into a box and put them up in the attic, and now you got to go get them and see if you have anything that's worth money. Because, I mean, everybody needs extra cash right now. But, yeah.
I think the highest selling game I've ever seen was an unopened copy of Super Mario Brothers. And I want to say that thing went for like $2 million. But I'm talking NES.
Very first Atari version of Mario Brothers? Because wasn't it on Atari? Or was that
no? I think it's the NES version.
NES? Oh, okay. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's the NES version, and it's the red and white Mario on the front.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
$2 million, dude.
That's crazy. All right, moving on to the next one, which is our last story for the night, which is Superman box office pressures rise. As experts say, DC has to save Warner Brothers from going the way of Fox. You mean the way of the mouse?
No, not the way of the mouse. Like Fox went under because they had to be bought out.
But that means that.
But Fox no longer exists. It's all Disney now.
Disney could come in and buy them and just create a whole new DCU.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Their movies just seem to be getting worse. They seem to be getting. I'm hoping we get a new lease on life with Gunn's universe, but I didn't really like what he did with Suicide Squad.
No, it was
not
okay.
even the second one.
It wasn't great.
Yeah, like I liked Guardians of the Galaxy. All three of them and the Christmas special were really good. Mm-hmm. But it felt like Suicide Squad was just Guardians of the Galaxy in the DC world. And we don't need two Guardians of the Galaxies.
But the thing is that both the universes, both Marvel and DC, because they're superheroes, they almost mirror each other. There are some characters that look like DC stuff, some characters that look like Marvel, you know? So James Gunn is going to bring what he brought to Marvel to DC, and we are going to have a little bit of a feel of that.
Yeah, and I'm not saying we don't need it at all. I'm just saying we don't need two exact Guardians of the Galaxy movies from two different companies. You want to clone it, make it its own thing, cool, do that. But it was like they just put new characters in the same spots.
Yeah. And the expectations are very, very high for this movie because, like they said, if this doesn't do it for Warner and for DC, we may not see any more of the DC movies. Not for a while.
And that's crazy to me because as a kid, DC Comics is what got me into comics. Batman is what pulled me in.
Yep. Superman got me.
And then I discovered the X-Men, and then I was on this whole new Marvel vibe after that. But yeah, dude, like to see that we won't have competing movie verses like we do in the comics is crazy to me.
Yeah, and the thing is that so DC and Warner have kind of done it to themselves. They really shot themselves in the foot, banking on all those other movies prior to this. Look, don't get me wrong, the Nolan verse of Batman,
it was all right.
It was actually, it kind of felt cool because it felt like it's real, like it could happen. But then you get the Justice League, and you got, and nothing against Cavill because he's a super nerd, and that's what's awesome about him. He's like the coolest nerd. Like I'd want to have him as my friend because he's cool, not just because he's Henry Cavill, but because he's cool. But it wasn't the greatest. I went back. I do watch that one every once in a while because it is kind of cool. There are some scenes in that movie that are kind of cool and stuff. But for the most part, it's not all that great. And I don't know. The whole Batman versus Superman was horrible because you're mixing multiple comic books into one movie. And it doesn't work. You cannot pull Dark Knight Returns in with the death of Superman along with the return of Superman. You can't do that into one movie. It doesn't work.
Yeah. The Snyderverse was interesting. It was visually appealing. It was good in many different ways, but it was too much in two movies.
Yeah. He tried pulling in and he tried to keep up with Marvel in two movies, and you can't when they've had 10 years at that point already. So
yeah, we had 10 years and 12, 15 movies to build up to Endgame.
Yeah. And Marvel or DC tried coming in and banging it out in two movies. And it's like, you can't. You cannot do that. You have to go the route of it. Doesn't matter if you're following the same trajectory of Marvel as how you're putting out your characters, but you should have done the same thing that they did because now we can build up. When Marvel took that lull, DC could have came in and filled that gap.
Yeah, they should have been building a Superman universe, a Batman universe, a Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was moving along nicely.
It was. I actually liked the first one.
They weren't 100% like, oh my God, this is the best thing DC's put out, but they weren't bad.
No,
even the second one wasn't bad. Like it wasn't great, but it wasn't as bad as Justice League.
or
What?
the Flash.
Or the Flash. Oh my god, dude. The Flash was
Oh,
the coolest thing about the Flash was Michael Keaton.
yeah, by far that was it. I just wanted to see more of him. I didn't care
But
about
even the Flash was Flashpoint without um,
Justice League.
Thomas Wayne.
Yeah,
We cut out Thomas Wayne and replaced him with old Batman. And it didn't work. I think if they would have just gave us Flashpoint as a movie,
hmm
we would have had such a really good freaking Flash movie
yeah.
and picked a better Flash.
Oh yeah.
I did not like Ezra.
No, it was a freaking weenie.
I
Oh,
think Grant from the show was a very good Flash.
if they would have just taken the established characters that they've already had in the TV series and created the movies, done.
I think the CW universe should have became the movie verse,
Oh yeah. Yep.
just
We
with
should
better
have.
writers, better budgets.
Yeah. And then you just add in Cavill as Superman.
And
You
Affleck
know,
as Batman.
we've got a completed universe right there. What more did you want? Oh, and
And Gal
Gal
as
and
Wonder
Gal
Woman.
is, you know, we completed the whole universe with good characters, good writing.
Dude, even freaking Charlie Sheen's brother from Two and a Half Men was a good Lex in the Supergirl series.
I didn't even watch Supergirl, but I'll
It
take
wasn't bad, dude. Like we got a couple flashbacks of different Superman, different Batman, and different universes.
it. Mhm.
And that version of Lex meets Tom Welling, who's
Oh, I
giving
see
us his
that.
comics.
Yeah, you said
Even
that
that
too.
was a good, well written Lex Luthor. Like I didn't think the guy had it in him, but it was good.
Yeah, I love that scene because he's all with the kryptonite. He's all this, and he's all like, "What? This? Yeah, that doesn't work anymore. I don't have my powers." It's like,
Yeah.
what? I gave them up. I didn't want. I didn't want my powers anymore.
And then he
No,
punches him in the face, and he's like, "Yep, still stronger."
it was that was actually really good, and actually that took a little bit from Reeves's movie, which is from Superman 2, where he went into the chamber to lose his powers in order to be with Lois Lane, which I
Yep.
like that too. I like that they did a kind of a callback to something like that. So
Yeah.
I was good on them. But yeah, there's a lot of pressure on freaking Corn Sweat. I think he's sweating his corn off. Wondering if this movie's going to do it. If he's
I'm
going to be a
still not sold on this kid as Superman.
I'm not either.
He doesn't look
the
like a
only
Superman to me.
I mean, the only thing I like about him is his name, Corn Sweat.
Not even that.
But
But
I do like who they picked for Lois Lane.
who did they pick?
Rachel, what's her face?
Yeah. Actually, I don't think I like any of the casting they did for this movie.
I like her because she, like, if you've ever seen The Marvelous Miss Maisel, she's got that pluck that what Lois Lane should have, not what Lois Lane had in the other previous incarnations of her. You know, definitely not Kate Bosworth. Oh my God, she was the worst one of them all.
Did they change the title for this movie? Wasn't it Superman Legacy or something like that?
Yeah, I thought that's what it was.
Oh, I just went to check it out on IMDb and it says just Superman now.
Oh, well, maybe they've changed it just so they don't have any confusion. But I don't know, man. I guess we'll just see if it really is a legacy when it comes down to it. If this will create that.
Yeah. I think at this point, I'm more interested to see who his brother plays than I care about the rest of the movie.
Well, his brother's actually going to be out at in Boise for Gem State Con.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we won't be able to make it out to that, and because I would really love to have met him and freaking Luke Danes. Luke Danes.
Anyway, I hope this does well. I do not want to see WB. I do not want to see DC movies go away completely. I just think they need to pick a story and go with it. Pick one story, give it a movie or two, whatever it needs to flesh it out in live action, and then move on to another big story from another superhero. And if you're gonna give us freaking Jason Momoa as Lobo, do it already.
We are going to get that. It's no longer a rumor. It's actually going to happen.
Yeah, in Supergirl.
Yeah, so they could then create a Lobo movie with him playing it, which that's a character he should have started out with, not Aquaman.
His Aquaman wasn't bad. The changes made sense. It's just that's not what comic book readers want. They want the characters from the books on the screen. They want blonde hair, blue eyed. They should have gave us Alan Richardson as freaking Aquaman.
Actually, I mean, yeah, that'd be cool.
I mean, for the aesthetic, just
because he's all.
We could have plugged him in, and he would have been great.
Yeah, but he keeps saying he'll be the next Batman, and he'll do it for free.
I was just about to say, I just read you wouldn't even have to pay me to be Batman in DC.
Yep, but there's also rumors of possibly Jensen Ackles.
Jensen Ackles would be good. I don't think he would be a better Batman than Alan Richardson.
I think Alan Richardson as kind of the older established Batman, because if this is where James Gunn wants to go, where we're already in an established universe where these heroes are there, yes, Alan Richardson would be actually really good to play that older. I'm in year freaking 15 of Batman.
I don't think he's trying to push that far into the universe. I think we're looking at like year 8, 9. They're already established superheroes.
Well, even at 8, 9, that puts Richardson kind of in that ballpark of his age, his size, the look of him, because he can play off of that hard look. I love the dude, man. I watched Reacher and I love the show. He's got that, like, he can play almost like a robotic type person, but still have a sense of humor. And it's a great show. And
Did you ever watch Titans on HBO?
Yes, which
his Hawk was fucking amazing.
It was. And also, everybody out there, if you guys haven't watched it, start watching it now, because we are going to have somebody that worked on that show on our show on the 28th of this month. Is it 28th? Let me double check that.
Dude, that show, I was not swayed either way. I didn't care if it was good, didn't care if it was bad. I was just going to watch it because it looked interesting. And
the 26th of this month, we're going to have Richard Haddon.
And watching that intro scene where Robin like literally just leaves Batman, and you're seeing him saying, "To hell with this, I'm going to do my own thing."
Yeah.
And he shoves that guy's face through the glass, rubs his face on it, picks him up, and like he just goes kind of brutal and against everything Batman wants him to do. But that's how he steps away. I was like, I'm sold. I'm in for the rest of the series. I don't care what happens. I'm in.
It was a great series. It really was. I enjoyed it, every episode.
And surprisingly, Brenton Thwaites was a freaking really good Dick. Like, he was a great Dick Grayson.
All the people that they chose to play the particular heroes were actually really, really good. Even Beast Boy.
Oh, dude, Beast Boy was so good.
Yeah.
The only kid I didn't like that they picked was the Jason Todd.
No, I mean, Jason Todd he gave that feel of I'm a douche.
But the kid didn't fit the douche that I was looking for. Because Jason Todd made you want to punch him in the mouth through the car.
Yeah, he did.
And he was just more annoying than he was Jason. Like, Jason was you know what? He'll probably kick my ass because he's been trained by Batman, but I'm going to punch him in the face anyways. This kid was like, bro, I will hog tie you and then pee on you. Like, you're not getting out of it. You know what I mean? He was annoying. And then when they brought him back as the Red Hood, he had like a big old bulbous head that wasn't cool. Like,
Well, it's because they brought him back too early, and not only that, they should have changed him because I mean the kid wasn't the very biggest kid.
no,
So,
he needed to be bigger, more
yeah,
intimidating. Like, how are you gonna make Hawk scared of you, and he's not even fucking half his size?
true.
Dove was bigger than him.
All right. Well, that is it for. We'll leave it on that note for. All right. So we're going to move into our last segment for the last few minutes of our show because I definitely want to get through this, which is obviously it's going to be. This week in Geek History, we're doing something a little bit different. It's not your typical This Week in Geek History. We are actually doing something which is 10 classic 80s cartoons that deserve a reboot. And the reason why, which I didn't even tell David why I was doing this, but I did tell you kind of what it was, which was there isn't much that went on during this time in geek history. You know what? We're just in a lull in like movies coming out because obviously we don't have this big summer blockbusters that came out around this time. Not too many big, huge shows come out at this time. We usually get them about April. April is when we always got new stuff like that. So obviously we're going to have a low in history. But something great did happen this time during 1978, which was on this particular day, I was born.
You were 50.
I'm not 50. Damn it, I'm not 50. But I lived through the 80s. This fool was born in the 80s. And there was a lot of great cartoons, which I didn't even change the picture.
This is the
That
10
was
movies that are Christmas classics picture.
But,
I was going to say, none of those are cartoons, by the way.
Yeah.
Except for Frosty.
Exactly. That was my unconventional Christmas movies that are, yeah. So, anyways.
First on the list.
But also, something popped up this week at the Toy Con, which was Mask is coming back. They're putting out the four original toys that started the whole line, which was the bike that turned into a helicopter, the Camaro that had the wings that popped out, that was Matt Tracker's vehicle, the helicopter that turned into a jet, which I mean that wasn't much of a stretch, and Rhino, which is the truck that I always wanted, the semi truck. That thing was freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Never got it, but they're actually bringing out the toys back, so I'm kind of excited about that. And the price point isn't that bad. The most expensive toy is going to be $50.
The diesel.
Yep, which is not bad. I think no, I take that back. The diesel was $89. Yeah, too expensive. Never mind. Mask, you suck. But
Centurions are nothing.
Huh?
I said Centurions are nothing.
Well, funny that you talk about Centurions. We're not going to start with them. But Starcom was actually a really cool cartoon. I don't know if you ever remember this. So they had a really cool toy that went along with this cartoon. And I should have brought up some more pictures of them, but
was it the jet with the blaster on it?
No, that was actually that was Captain Power. Captain Power is the one with the jet that you pull the trigger and it'll shoot like a flashlight beam. Yeah, that was and it had a live action show that went along with it.
Yes.
But these ones, the 1980s gave us some of the most action-packed and imaginative animated cartoons of all time, I would say. And also, along with these cartoons, they had some freaking amazing like theme songs. Starcom was one of them up there with their theme song. It was really cool. Like alarms were going off, and all the guys were like, "Oh, there's somebody attacking us," and they were jumping in their ships. But the toys were actually really cool because they had the feature, and they were smaller figures. They were about this big of their figures, so their vehicles were smaller and had like different little features on it. And Google just wished me a happy birthday. Thank you.
Over the hill.
Starcom. Oops. Let's see. Starcom toys. So I can bring up and show you guys what I'm talking about. Oh, this is the whole collection right here. These were actually really cool.
Bro, I remember these toys. I remember the shape of those little
the ships. They're actually pretty cool, huh?
Little like pyramid shapes.
Yeah. And then they like you push a button and it pops out the wings to expand them, and then their little blasters came out. So, like, if you guys don't remember these, this is where is it at?
Yeah, I never had them, but I definitely remember what they look like.
Dude, I had a lot of these, which were really cool. And there we go. So I had a lot. Actually, had I had the truck. I had a lot of the figures. I had one of the ships, the little ship, but I never had the bigger ship. And they were really cool. And on the bottom of their feet, they had little magnets. So if you look on that yellow box, there's like a little blue square. And that little blue square is actually a magnet. And all these things had magnets on them. So if your figure's feet hit it, it activates something on it. And the magnets pop out things. And so it was really cool. It was a cool gimmick. It was a lot of fun to play with. But it was actually a really cool cartoon also. So Starcom is one that I could see come back if somebody wants to do it. Brian Volk wise, huh? Or Max and Ben. Yeah.
I don't know what you're doing, but it looks like it hurt.
Well, I'm just saying, if these guys want to do this thing, Starcom is definitely one that you should check out because Brian is doing a lot of revamping of a lot of the old cartoons, like Bike of Mice from Mars is one, RoboForce. So, I don't know. Brian, take a look at our list here. I think you might want to check it out. But Starcom only went for one season, unfortunately. 1986 was the only year for it, and it was a lot of. I thought it was cool. Ace McCloud, Jake. Oh no, that's Centurions. Oops, sorry. I jumped ahead of the list here. I'm trying to find it. There's Starcom. All right, so space faring military unit defends the galaxy from intergalactic threats, exploring deep space mysteries and cosmic conflicts. Again, it was a really cool combination of Star Trek meets Battlestar Galactica and Star Wars all together into it, and it was America.
I feel like we were littered with so many things that only went like a season, maybe two, but they were epic. Like the 80s gave us one season, but that one season was like 24 episodes of amazingness.
Yeah, and to us, it felt like it ran forever because it was a true season of 24 episodes. You know, and
Not
even if
eight
Netflix
episodes and you're done.
Yeah, and then you got to wait like another 6 months before you get another 6, if it even lasts. And they don't always last. So, but Starcom, it was a great one. It had a great theme song. So moving on to the next one, Cops. Remember this one?
I do.
This one was a good one too.
It wasn't one of my favorites, but it had cool toys.
That's the cool thing. Yes. Like what you guys are going to notice is that some of these cartoons, yes, they're like really good cartoons, but what they really had were freaking sick toys. Cops figures were 6-inch figures. Their gimmick was caps, those exploding little caps. So if you pull the trigger on their guns and stuff, it had the caps blasting.
Yep.
So seriously cool. It's set in a future city, the Central Organization for Police Specialists, COPS, COPS. That's what it stood for. And they went against Big Boss and his gang. And I thought it was a really cool cartoon. And if they could reboot this one, I think it would be really awesome too, especially with all the. I know toys don't play a factor into things anymore, but you just might be able to reboot those toys for us older guys that see the nostalgia in these things.
See, but for us, it was crazy because all these cartoons only came out to push a toy line. Like 80% of the stuff we grew up watching was pushed out just because they were like, hey, we made these toys, give them something to watch so they want to go buy them.
And we didn't care what the storyline was about.
No. Dude, we had a show about freaking all the NBA, NFL, freaking all of Hall of Famers on one team. And they just did Power Ranger type rescue missions. And that was it.
Wayne Gretzky, Bo Jackson, freaking Magic Johnson.
Deion Sanders.
Yep. I think it was Michael Jordan, actually. It was Michael Jordan. It was just, and it was called the All-Star Team. Yep. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
We don't need that rebooted, but it was.
Let's leave that buried.
Bo knows.
Bo knows Jack. Dude, yeah, that that cartoon does not need to get a reboot. We didn't care about it then. We're not going to care about it now. I'm sorry.
But it was a way to push toys.
And I don't think it didn't last long enough to get a toy line.
Dude, half of these shows hadn't even come out yet, and the toys were already made.
This is true.
Transformers. Like if you think of all the big toys from when we were kids, Transformers, Thundercats.
Which we're going to talk about Thundercats a little bit in this episode, but
Silverhawks.
Huh?
Silverhawks.
But the thing is,
all came out just to push the toy line.
Yeah, but Transformers was already a toy line long before the cartoon, but it was just in Japan.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, how do we get these toys to sell better? Let's put out this cartoon. And we got a lot of that over the 80s, and it worked. I had all of this crap.
I did too. I had them all. I took G.I. Joe off this list because we don't need another reboot of G.I. Joe.
If we're going to get a reboot, it needs to be a good reboot.
Well, it's got to be like, let's take the original stuff and go with that. Let's not go into this extreme G.I. Joe or something G.I. Joe. Like, what they're doing in the comic books, they're doing it right in the comic books. They're giving us origin stories of the figures, and then they've brought them in and combined them, and they've got a great story going right now. They take that and turn that into a cartoon. Now you caught me. Now you got me interested.
And give me Damian Wayans. I'm just playing. Give me Marlon Wayans again.
I don't need Marlon, and I don't need Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum. Yeah, I don't need him. No. Sorry. But moving on to the next one, Jace and the Wheeled Warriors. This one had a sick intro song. I don't know if you remember.
I don't remember the intro. I do remember the cartoon. I don't remember much else. But I do remember seeing this on TV.
So this was another one where, again, cartoon pushed the toy line. The bad thing was that, yes, where the figures came, where the actual vehicles came in, they looked great, but we never got the figures from the cartoon itself. And we also got them where they were this big. They were that small of a figure that went into a vehicle, but it's because they were vehicles that they had to push the vehicle more than the figures. So you lost a lot of people because you had little just like cheap versions of each character in these things. But this was a great cartoon. This was a really cool cartoon. Jace, so he leads a band of rebels against the monster mines, which when you looked at like you can see the monster mine in the background. That's the lead bad guy. They would transform into the vehicles, and they look like plants and organic things. Where Jace and his crew built their vehicles to fight against them, and they were some really cool vehicles. Originally created to sell toys, but the show that surprisingly, um, but the show surprisingly had deep scientific or sci-fi storytelling. The storytelling was actually surprisingly good for this too. So if you go back and you rewatch this, the story was good. But because it wasn't
look it up.
Yeah, look it up. And because it wasn't selling the toy line very well, they kind of just X'd it. So this was another one of those, like you said, we got it for one season, but it was an epic season. Every time that soundtrack came on, it was like, Jace and the Wheel Warriors. It's great.
Something's wrong with my speakers.
Oh, but it was a great one. I loved it. I always, look forward to watching it. Actually, now I'm gonna have to go look it up again and rewatch it. So, but next we've got Brave Star, Brave Star. Remember that? You and me. This is, I would say, this and like our talk about Flash Gordon is what really kicked off this podcast.
Yeah. Dude, Brave Star, I had a figure. He was a 10-inch fig.
Yeah.
He had the hat, it came off. He had a bunch of pieces that went with him. And then I had him for a long time where he was just like he was missing an arm, missing a leg, but I kept him because you can't find Brave Star figures anywhere. This show, and me and you sat down and rewatched that first episode. Dude, that is a heavy first episode.
It was. I was like, what the hell are we watching, dude? This is depressing.
But the whole show, like, had every episode had a great message. It had a great like the artwork was amazing. It all looks like that OG Gundam Robocon art style or Robocon Robotech art style. Early anime look. Yeah, dude, it was so good.
It was an awesome cartoon. The toy line was okay. They were a little bit big and bulky, but their gimmick didn't tie in very well with the cartoon because their gimmick was the whole laser guns also, because there were so many laser guns out there that they had that sensor going and stuff. So on the toy line, but they did look cool. But the cartoon was a great cartoon, and the bottom message to this was, Dennis got a bot in the chat. James, I am going to.
Yeah. You little whippersnapper. Eugene is so old he lost his rights and is considered public domain. That's what they say in the barracks.
Oh my God. So this is a space western following Marshall Brave Star, a Native American hero with spirit animals who protected the planet New Texas. And I just recently watched a a YouTube video from Secret Galaxy. They always put out some great stuff, and it was actually on Brave Star and talking about the whole cartoon and how a lot of the native themes were taken away from the toys because they didn't want to sell that. So it's like, really? It's in the cartoon though.
Yeah. We're looking for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did. This again only went for a season, and then they brought out a cartoon movie, which I didn't know about when Brave Star was over. Like when they canceled Brave Star, that's when they decided, you know what, we're going to put out this cartoon movie of Brave Star to give more of an origin story to Brave Star.
I'm gonna have to go watch that.
I'm gonna have to look it up now. But it's like if they would have put that at the very beginning, the way they did with like the GI Joe miniseries that they did to lead into the GI Joe cartoon, I think it would have been great, and this probably could have boosted it even more. But the thing that killed Brave Star also was the fact that they put out the toy line long before the cartoon came out, so they didn't see the sales, so they canceled the cartoon too. It's just, it's the tale as old as time for the cartoons here. But
Tale as old as time.
Oh my God, no. All right, moving on to the next one, which is
Too fast.
Yes, Centurions, as he said, Ace McCloud, Jake Rockwell, Max Ray, the Centurions. I know you brag. I'm gonna just James, I'm gonna find you.
I will find you.
I have special skills. But you say you still have one of these guys.
Yeah. 3 Centurions.
Do you have all
two,
3?
2 Centurions.
Uh-huh.
2 of their like exosuits that they wore.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, still here at the house.
Dude, I wish because I had Ace McCloud, and I had him in his basic stuff, and I had his space stuff. And I used to love that. The one that I really wanted was actually Jake Rockwell, which is their land expert. He's a dude that
right?
and he could turn into a tank or he could turn into a helicopter. Always wanted that figure. Never could find him. He was the one that was always sold out, but you could find Ace everywhere. It's like nobody wanted the jet.
Yeah. Dude, I had a book of this even after the show ended. You know, they used to turn them into books where you could read through like one episode.
Yeah.
I used to read that book over and over because I just really enjoyed like what this was about. It was like Wildcrats for us as kids. You know what I mean? Because like we learned something new about the world. They taught us something, but you also saw these really cool, like, oh, we're gonna go fight the bad guys.
Well, let me give you a fun fact about Centurions, because I didn't even know this, but one of the first cartoons to blend CGI with traditional animation.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know that.
I didn't either. No clue whatsoever.
I always thought Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast were the first ones to do like.
They were the first full-length animated movies to do that, but apparently this was the first cartoon to blend it. Now I'm gonna have to go back and watch it to see if I can see the difference.
That's crazy.
I didn't know that. That's actually pretty cool. But they did have a really cool really cool toy. Obviously, me and David were talking about it, where you got 3 Centurions. They have all these little like peg things on them, and you're able to interchange weapons and parts and stuff like that. So Jake Rockwell stuff can mix with Ace McCloud and so on, and Max Ray and all this other stuff. It was really cool. So you started off with these 3 Centurions, and they actually added in a couple more. We never got to have the figures from that, but they did like allude to them being in the series. It was later on in the season, but again, it was a 1-season wonder. 1986 was the only season for Centurions.
Yep.
So
it's crazy that I remember that show because I was only 2 when it came out.
So then you must have seen it on VHS, or was it like
I couldn't tell you, man.
Yeah, because I remember it in '86, and it was syndicated, so it was being rerun. But it
I might have caught the reruns.
Yeah, that's a really good possibility because I think it was Cartoon Network was also showing them on there.
Because I know when we were kids, a lot of shows would end, but you would catch the reruns for 3 to 5 years after the series ended.
Yeah, and it always ended up going from like a Saturday morning to during the week. It was always a
Yep.
cartoon that you look forward to after school. Whereas, I mean, He-Man and G.I. Joe were always a weekday thing. So that was a little
Yep.
different. But next we've got Inhumanoids. I actually have a really cool shirt at home, which I should have brought. But Inhumanoids was the cartoon that scared the crap out of most kids.
It had the creepiest like characters, dude. Like I remember, as a matter of fact, I think I might still have it at my dad's house if I go look for it. The green mantis dude with like the orange freaking snot coming out of his face.
Yep.
I think I still have that motherfucker. He's not bright green no more. He's like dingy swamp thing green. But
Well, the one that freaked out most kids was, oh God, what was his name? I think it was like, it started with a D. Decompose.
is he the one with the skeleton chest?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the one that was the creepiest out of them all, I thought. And
Yeah, he was creepy, dude.
but it was a great cartoon, and this one ran from 86 to 87. All these other ones were just 86. This was 86 to 87. So a team of scientists called Earth Corps battles gigantic underground monsters known as the Inhumanoids who threaten the world. It had like a horror theme to this. It truly did have a horror theme.
I don't remember the cartoon much. I don't remember watching it at all. I just remember having that big ass figure, and when the light hit the top of his head, those orange mandibles would fucking glow.
Yep.
And it was always creepy. I just thought it was a cool figure, and I always kept them around.
Dude, that is, I mean, if you could find it and clean that thing up and just put it on display, that thing is seriously cool. I would
I'd have to
love
look.
to find figures. But this was a Lovecraftian horror. That's what it had, Lovecraftian horror elements, because it has those gigantic creatures from the earth, and a lot of his stories have creatures coming from the earth that were just.
And I didn't even think about it, but that big ass green creature looks like a Cthulhu themed character.
Yep, and that's what they kind of mirrored it after, or crafted it after. So, but go back. It was only 13 episodes, or let's see. The show only lasted 13 episodes, but remains a cult favorite. So if you go back and rewatch it, it's still just as good as when it first came out, and you'll understand it a little bit better, and just you'll see the Lovecraft theme to it as far as the monsters.
And the term you're looking for is Lovecraftian. That's what they use.
Lovecraftian.
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 Yeah, I'm just saying that's the term for people who love that shit.
I know, and that's the term I use, a Lovecraftian. Lovecraftian. I just tried saying it slow so I don't.
I couldn't hear you over the wrinkly gibberish.
Oh, shut up. Anyways, moving on from this show, which I would love to, like I said, I'd love to see this thing reboot, because with the technology that we have, it can be a.
Dude, to see some of these shows done, I mean, the best cartoon I've seen lately is like the newest episodes of One Piece. Not the newest ones that are coming out right now, but the arc that just finished, the Wano arc. If you could get some of these cartoons redone in that style, oh my god, dude, these things would look amazing.
That would be great. Yeah, these things would look amazing. I mean, this was still done very well, and the artwork of this particular show looked really good. But yeah, if we went with nowadays, it would definitely make a difference.
Demon Slayer.
Moving on. Huh?
Demon Slayer art in one of these shows.
Oh.
Especially like something like Inhumanoids.
Yeah, that would look pretty sick. Oh, dude, that'd be great. But moving on to the next one, Spiral Zone. I don't know if you remember this one.
Never seen this one.
So this is a little bit more of a stretch on this one, but it was actually a really great cartoon, and it had a good. The toys were actually pretty cool, and they actually had like full on cut like stuff that you could take off of them. Like I mean, like cloth made. Their little jumpsuits were cloth made. It was almost like a Barbie. It was a little bit shorter than a Barbie, but their figures had all these different accessories that you put on. They had really
Mm.
cool what do you call it? Cool vehicles that they could drive, and the story wasn't bad. And they did use CGI in this particular cartoon. It was
I
not that great, but it was actually pretty cool.
I remember some of the cartoon,
Mhm.
like seeing these characters because I just googled it real quick.
Yeah.
Seeing the toys, I remember that, but I never saw it.
So this is being deemed the darkest and most mature '80s cartoon, featuring a dystopian theme to it. So yeah, this was it. When you think about it and you watch it, it has a real dark theme to it because it's turning people into zombies, and so yeah. All right, moving on. We only got a couple more. I swear, Mask, and this is the whole reason why we got into this is because Mask is coming back as a toy. This was a really great. Um, I thought it had again another amazing soundtrack or theme song,
Yeah,
and also really cool toys to go along with it. So it was a blend of GI Joe and Transformers because you had your main figures that can get into the vehicles and the vehicles that transformed into something else. Um, so yeah, we're gonna just move along because
well, I think we've touched on this one enough
we
that
we did.
it does deserve a reboot because it will look good.
Same thing with this one, which we have talked about also, which
Dude,
was the Silverhawks.
Silverhawks is such an underrated show by people who didn't watch it when it came out.
Yep.
Uh, it's just so cool. The whole concept of this show is amazing.
The toys were really good, and they actually did reboot the toys. They brought them out again, and their figures were pretty awesome. You could still look them up and get a set of these things out there.
Yeah, and
They
they're
just
not super popular.
no, they're not.
Like even now with people like going backwards, like it's not a super popular show because you just look at this picture and you're like, yeah, that doesn't look interesting.
Yeah, but this came out at the same time as Thundercats,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why it's kind of got that animal theme to it also because it was done by the same creators of Thundercats, and it came out at the same time, and it almost shares somewhat of a same universe as Thundercats. So,
Yeah,
but
it's fucking amazing.
yeah, but speaking of Thundercats, number one for us is Thundercats. Yes, they did reboot it. So, you guys out there that are like, oh, well, Thundercats, yes, they did. We talked about it just before we came on the show, and it was artwork was amazing. The animation was great. The story was okay, but they could have done better.
We got a lot from that reboot. We got a lot of lore that we never got because of the episodic styling of Thundercats. Um, I think I've brought this up before, where it's like they had one episode where it was like, "Oh, this thing is killing us. We don't know what to do with it. How do we fight it? Oh, there's this ancient stuff we can use. It's called soap, and it teaches you how to clean your hands." Like, you know what I mean? So we didn't have these like overarching storylines that like there was a few episodes where you had a story that went across 2 or 3 episodes,
Yeah.
but most of them were episodic, and it was a contained lesson to teach you how to do something as a kid, or your friends are your friends, treat them like they're always going to be your friends, like just little messages that we got in the Thundercats, and it made it a wholesome show with really kick-ass characters that fought.
Yeah. And I would love to see a reboot of this, but to actually flush out a story that we could follow. And because
This
again,
style would be amazing too, like the
yeah, it would
picture
be.
you chose. This
Yep.
picture has a cool like stylization to these characters.
Especially Snarf. Look at that, dude. He looks all freaking.
No, you know,
He doesn't look like a giant weenie. But
dude. But that's the best part about him. He's like Krager. He's supposed to be scared.
true. And he, you know, But there's a live action CGI movie in development directed by Adam Wingard.
I'm hoping it's good. I do prefer out of all the characters that were rebooted in that second series, they were all done really well. They all had cool designs to them, except for Panthro with his weird mutton chops that I freaking hated. Um, I don't know, man. Panthro needs to look just like he does there. He needs to be a blue Spock with muscles.
Yeah, I agree. But even this version of him right here that somebody did, I think would look pretty sick.
Well, this is closer to the original version, and that's what he should be. That's what he looks. He should be a blue muscle-bound Spock with the velvetiest black man voice I've ever heard while using nunchucks.
I agree. I would.
If you don't know what Panthro is, that's Panthro.
That is definitely Panthro. And you know what? The comic series right now, and they're already into issue number 12, is actually done really well. And a lot of their covers, the artwork, freaking amazing.
Who's pushing that? Who's doing the Thundercats? Is that IDW or is that Dark Horse?
IDW.
Because I was gonna say that sounds like right up in those two alleys.
Yeah, it's an IDW comic, and I've been getting it, and it's actually really good. I've been getting the new Johnny Quest comics, and they're really good too.
I'm gonna need a copy of all these. Whoever your comic book guy is, tell him I need 1 through 12.
I'll talk to him. I'll hit him up. I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I
First
can
prints only. I don't want second prints. I'm just saying.
Whatever. Anyways, all right. Before somebody explodes, let's just end this section by saying these are the 10 cartoons we think, this is just our opinion, we think should be rebooted and also put out some new toys for them. But
yeah, I think putting out a new series would be amazing. Even if we just got a series, it would be dope.
Yeah.
But giving kids something that they want to collect again is, dude, it added to the feel of the show.
You got to put it in at a price point that parents aren't going to be like, ugh, that's freaking $40 for one stupid figure that you're going to just lose.
Bro, when we were kids, I specifically remember, and I may or may not have told the story once or twice before, but I specifically remember Power Rangers dropped and all the figures came out. And on my birthday, someone gave me $100 bill. And I was like, oh, I can't get them all, but I'm going to go to Walmart and buy everything I can. I was that into it. Like, I loved it. And I freaking bought every single Ranger and the Megazord with my $100 bill.
Or $100.
And the Megazord was full size.
Yeah.
5 pieces. Like, it came apart. Every single Zord was there. It wasn't like, oh, we're going to give you the Megazord, but you can't take it apart. It's just a statuette. Like, no. I bought the full thing. And then because I bought that, someone bought me the Dragon Zord later because it hadn't come out yet. Dude, I ended up with Serpentor. I had the Thunder Zords. Like, and it was at a time where you could buy the whole set for $150.
That's insane because now, forget it. Like, even talking about a price point with figures, G.I. Joe, when they first came out, $3. $3 a figure. And now that same 3 3/4 figure that I had when I was a kid, they're remaking and putting out $20 a figure.
Dude, I remember the standard being $7, like for a long time, the late 80s, early 90s. You had like a $7 price range for most action figures. It was like, Mom, can I get a toy? You could get 2 for $20. That's cool.
Yeah.
Bro, now my kids are like, Dad, can I get a toy? Like, no, bro, I just got paid. I paid all my bills. Like, I don't have money to buy your toy.
Yeah. I don't have a $20 bill to get you one figure that is this big. You know?
Mm-hmm. And then they don't want action figures. They want those little mystery toys. Break up the egg, and it's like this random thing
that gets lost by the time you get home.
Yes, sir.
So things have definitely changed, guys. I get it, and we're two old guys that always talk about this and fall into this. But the thing is that, you know what? It was a great time during the 80s and 90s when we had cool cartoons to look forward to, cool toys to play with, and had a lot of fun. So, with that, I would say that this was This Week in Geek History. So, yeah, that will pretty much do it, man. Thank you, Phil, for wishing me a happy birthday. James, thank you for saying that I'm old, but yet I look better.
Ish.
Shoot, I look better.
Ish.
Thanks again to all you guys that have come out onto Instagram, everybody out on YouTube and Twitch that have been watching us. We are back. We are going to be hitting it strong. I promise you. The new studio is going to be up and running within the next few weeks. So you guys, I will be showing you guys all that. Lots of really cool designs that I really have been putting my time into to build and make it look as cool as I can for you guys, because we are actually going to be shooting a pilot for the Geek Saga show. That's going to be a lot of fun. We've also got a couple others that we're working on. We've got some big sites we're set on for this year. So that's where we might suffer a little bit as far as maybe going to a con, but in the long run, it is going to be fully worth it. You'll be able to see a lot more content that we're going to be putting out, and it should be really cool. Phil says Eugene played with a lot of toys as a kid. Yeah, I did actually. And then he says hula hoops, jacks. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah,
but I did play with a lot of toys as I was growing up.
Top. What is it? The stick where you get the thing on it?
Isn't that a Mexican toy or something? You're like, yes. I remember my grandmother had that thing, and it was like a freaking wooden.
Dude, that thing would smash your knuckles if you missed the pipe.
Screw the knuckles, because if you're trying to follow it like this, it's like, boss.
I think the closest thing to it that kids would know right now was the toy called kendama, where you had the cups and you would try to like get the stick on it or whatever. My kids had them. They found them one time and they bought them. Whatever.
I don't know.
But guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. I am sitting here. I am about to like literally tinkle all over the place. I've had too much water in this invisible cup of mine. So do us a favor. Share, like, comment, hit us up at all the socials at the bottom. Go to our friends' pages in the link in our bio. Check out Project Wish Upon a Star, the Golden Apple Foundation, Comic Books for Kids. Stack up. If you can work with them, work with them. If you can donate to them, donate to them. If you can just spread their name by word of mouth and get their names out there so people can do what they can for them, that would be great. Especially big shout out to Darren and Veronica. They really do help us out a lot. And Darren probably texts both of us, I don't know, once a month at a minimum.
Oh, more than that.
Well, I mean, just at a minimum, he'll drop us a line casually. So we're not just throwing him out there just to throw him out there. Like, he literally does check on us. So we do what we can to help him out and keep pushing him forward. But anything you can do for them would be amazing. And then come back here, catch us at the same Geek Time, same Geek channel when the saga continues.